Hello, beauties, and welcome to today's live. I'm so happy to be here with you. Thank you so much for waiting for a couple minutes. I had to switch my phone to my computer. So we are in Mercury retrograde. There's going to be a complication or two. I'm just really happy to be here. And I'm really happy to be here with you. Today, I decided to do things a little bit differently. We're not going to be doing a ritual from beginning to end. Rather, I felt that it was a good idea for us to have a little reading, to have a little collective group reading, because if you're anything like me and people I've been chatting with lately, and if you're feeling the astrology that we're experiencing right now, things are a little bit hectic. You're being asked to change the way you're looking at things. You're being invited to consider what it is that you want to continue moving forward. You're being invited to step into your power more strongly and to act according to your personal integrity with more courageousness and boldness. And this can be really, really challenging. I know it has been for me personally. So you are not alone here. You are not alone. And today I'm going to be using the lunar eclipse in Capricorn spread that I provided for you earlier, a couple days ago, in order to do this reading for us, this collective reading for us. And after we're finished the reading, we are just going to go through a ritual process of release. We're going to purge. We're going to let go together. We're just going to release anything that we are keeping pent up inside. We're going to release the heaviness of all of this eclipse energy. We're going to let go any of the anxiety that we've been feeling recently, and just create a clean slate for what's to come. So I'm going to be reading today with the Moonchild Tarot, which I have shuffled extensively prior to our meeting today. And I'm going to ask that we receive messages that help us to move forward, that help us to integrate the lessons that we are learning through this eclipse cycle, that help us to accept some of the insights we've received, and to help us hold space for some of the more difficult emotions that have likely popped up for us in the past couple of weeks or so. I did dedicate this entire month to exploring eclipse energy and retrograde energy because I had a feeling that many were going to be dealing with challenging emotions, and based on what it is that I've received feedback-wise and folks I've been working with, this has absolutely been the case. So just think of this reading and this release ritual as kind of a period on the end of the sentence of this eclipse season. Of course, we're still going to be in retrograde till the end of the month, but you may begin to feel some of the heaviness lift, especially as we reach the end of the month and we get into the middle of August. So, yes. Okay. For our first position, how might we cultivate compassion and tolerance? All of us, as we all go through these shifts, these changes, these transitions, as we explore who it is that we are, we begin to kind of step outside of our comfort zone. And we have received the sun. And this is the card of connecting to the deep well of joy that lives within each of us. As you can see here, the figures are enraptured and dancing under the sun. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, we are experiencing some pretty hot times right now. It is definitely the season of the sun. We are about to transition into Leo season, and Leo is ruled by the sun. And the sun is an energy that burns intensely and brightly and warmly and helps us to connect with our inner joy. It is so much easier to be compassionate towards self and towards others when you are living your bliss, when you're following your bliss, whatever that means to you. Of course, it manifests differently for everyone. It's going to be a different experience for everyone. One person's bliss could be paddling out in the middle of an ocean, and another person's bliss could be hanging out in the coldest climes. Whatever it is for you, What makes you happy? This is an invitation to think about that question. What is it that makes you happy? You deserve happiness. You do. I'm telling you this right now. I don't care what you've done. I don't care what you've experienced. I don't care who you are. You deserve to feel happiness. And that doesn't mean that you're going to be washed in happiness and joy all of the time. I just don't think that that's really our experience. What it means is that when happiness comes to you and when you start to feel it well up within you, embrace it. Let it come. Don't cut it off at the past because you feel like you're not worthy, because you decide that you want to think about what could potentially go wrong because you're afraid of the fall from happiness. Live in that moment when it arrives. Embrace it fully, embrace it wholly, embrace it totally. Because when you are coming from that space and you allow yourself to feel that and you allow yourself to connect with that, you will be kinder towards others. You will be more compassionate. You will be more tolerant. If you are following your bliss, you're not going to have much beef with other people. And this is a theme that's been coming up for the past couple of weeks, honestly. This idea that if you do what's in your heart to do, you're not really going to be too concerned about what other folks are up to. You know, this is the message of this card. If you want to be more compassionate and tolerant to those you come across on a daily basis, to the world at large, care for yourself. Do what makes you happy. Do what brings you joy. Service to yourself is service to others. Like, I deeply believe this. I would not be on the bandwagon of self-care, and it's not even a bandwagon, it's a practice. I would not fully support self-care and the idea of self-care if I didn't deeply believe also that when you care for yourself, you also care for the cosmos as well. You're part of it all. You're all part of each other. Take care of yourself, and you'll have so much more to give to other people. 2, what cause are we being asked to champion or defend? This can manifest in a variety of ways. It can, again, depending on the card. And we have received the 7 of Cups. It's time to make a choice. We are being pulled in a variety of directions. This eclipse has, for some of us, unearthed desires that were long dormant, has unearthed past pain that perhaps we've been suppressing, has gotten us in touch with some deep desires that maybe we've been avoiding. And the time has come to figure out which of these options that you find on your plate right now are going to ultimately be the best for you moving forward. You know, how do we do this? Connect with your deep inner knowing, connect with that sense of self that is constant. And for me, it lives right here. It lives right here in my heart space. When I connect with that space, I am able to find the courage I need to open myself to the truths that are looking to be given to me, even if they're difficult, even if embracing them means upending my life in some ways. The courage can be found here. It really can. Let's take a moment actually, because this is a ritual space. Let's take a moment to put your hand on your heart if you're here and present with us right now, and to kind of just connect through breathing. You are confronted with myriad possibilities every day, myriad choices, myriad temptations, being pulled in many different directions. Which one is most resonant? Which one speaks most deeply to you? What line can you feel is being tied between your heart and where it is that you're going? What is the strongest pull? Now, how might we encourage our heart to lead the way? This really does dovetail off of what it is that we just spoke about. And we've all received 3 of Wands. And I feel that this is a call to take stock of where you are right now in the moment and allow that to be your teacher. You know, having is a symptom of wanting, of desiring to a certain extent. Take a moment to look around and see what it is that you have before you, to see what it is that you are surrounded by. How does this reflect who it is that you are? How does this reflect who it is that you are becoming? How does this reflect where it is that you want to go? Where do you see the evidence in the life that you're leading right now of where it is that you ultimately want to go? What choices have you recently made that speak to that? The Three of Wands is a checkpoint. It's a moment of pause. It's a moment of consideration. It's the recognition that you have come a certain distance on the journey, but that there is much further to go. You can see the horizon before you. It is not so far away that you can't see it, but there is a great deal of space between you and it. And in that space between, there's the potential for many different choices. There's the potential for you to go in many different ways, and you will experience many different experiences from now until then. What do you have control over? What can you choose? What course can you plot out, and how can you prepare yourself for the changes that will arise as a result of the journey you're about to go on? Again, let your heart make some of these choices and some of these decisions. This is not a call for you to abandon sense and logic and rationality. In fact, you need sense and logic and rationality in order to make decisions that will ultimately serve you, that will serve you well. How can you let your heart, however, have a say in where it is that you're going? How can you let it drive the car? How can you let your heart lead the way and let your logic and rationality give you the practical tools with which to go on that journey? What magic does this moon want you to embrace? Want us all to embrace? And we've received the Lovers. In the most traditional sense, this is a call for you to reconnect with your partner, partners, with those in your life who mean the most to you. In moments of great transformation and change, it's important to have something stable to hold on to, something that you can count on, something that you can put your trust in, something that can support you through the change, support you while you are establishing, building new structures, establishing new ways of being, new modes of being. And one of the strongest support systems or support sources we can lean on in this time are those that love us deeply, are those that care about us, are those that accept us even though we are not particularly acting according to the ways in which we normally act. In periods of transformation, we are led to question the self. And when we're questioning the self, sometimes we do not present as balanced as we normally do. Who do you know will love you no matter what you're experiencing, no matter how you're presenting yourself to the world? Set aside some time to spend some time with those people or that person. Don't be afraid to reach out, psychospiritually and physically. Don't be afraid to reach out, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to be honest about what it is that you're experiencing and what it is that you're going through. We all need to feel as if we're loved and accepted. And one of the best things we can do is strengthen the relationships that we have, that we already know that we are loved and accepted in. This is a call to reach out, to give your person, your people a hug, and to let them be there for you. Let them support you. It's also, for some of us, we have this knee-jerk reaction to kind of withdrawal during times of immense change, where it's like we are a wounded animal that limps into the woods to die by itself. I do not recommend this. We sometimes need periods of isolation or alone time to sort out what it is that we're processing, but it's usually not a good idea to completely withdraw, because then we remove ourselves from that loving support that can be so helpful when we're going through times of change. Don't be afraid to open the door. Don't be afraid to reach out. There are folks there who are ready and willing to help you, to support you, and to see you through this time. So, where do we need to pull back? The Nine of Pentacles. To me, this is a call to refuse the compulsion to do things perfectly, to have the perfect life, to have everything balanced, to have everything on lock, in check all the time. Now, the Nine of Pentacles is one of my favorite cards of the tarot. It is a spirit animal or spirit person card for me. But sometimes there's a lot of pressure suggested in this card. This card suggests that, you have a beautiful work-life balance, that you're taking care of yourself. You've got your self-care practice on lock, that your finances are perfectly balanced and everything is in check and you're just on top of it all. And you know what? Sometimes we cannot inhabit that space. Sometimes that is too much to ask for. And I feel like it's not necessarily good to completely inhabit this space all the time, because we could limit ourselves to the potential of growth if we keep ourselves safe, if we don't step outside of our comfort zone, if we don't throw ourselves out of balance every once in a while just to see what's out there for us. So resist the urge to present perfectly. Resist the urge to convince everybody that everything is perfect and wonderful and that they don't need to worry, and that, of course, you don't want your people to worry. But sometimes it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to say, I'm going through it. It's okay to say, God, I had a day today. It's okay to say, I made a mistake, but you know what? I'm going to do my best to fix it in whichever way I can, and I'm going to do my best to let go of the things that I can't control or change. No, there was never a contract that we signed, to the best of my knowledge, that ensured us a perfect life, ensured that we would just coast through like a sailboat on a clear, slightly breezy day. It's almost struggle is part of the process of growth, even when it's rough, even when it sucks. And sometimes that's where we need to be. Sometimes we need to be in a space where we're not really sure exactly where we are, and we're not really sure exactly what the hell we're doing, because we're figuring it out. Sometimes we need to be in that liminal space of figuring things out. This is permission for you to figure it out. It is okay. You do not need to know what is up 100% of the time. 6, where are you being invited to move forward? You received the 7 of Swords. And this is a card that speaks of lack mentality, speaks of a lack of belief, an ability of the self to build what the self needs to build to carry on. 7 of Swords is a card of theft, a card of stealing, a card of taking what's yours without really much cause or consideration of how it might affect others. And I think this is a message. This is what I'm receiving, that this is a message that you're going to be taken care of, that whatever it is that you're experiencing right now, whatever it is that you're going through, it will resolve. You don't need to jeopardize your personal integrity in order to fix whatever needs to be fixed. Have faith in the structures that you've set, in the foundation that you've laid to carry you through these changes and transitions. And don't make any big moves or decisions until you can do so from a place of confidence and security. When we make choices and decisions from a place of insecurity, from a place where we don't have confidence in terms of the choices and decisions that we're making, we sometimes make a choice that's not self-loving. We sometimes make a choice that doesn't resonate with who it is that we are and where it is that we're going. And I speak from personal experience. I made a lot of major life choices from this place of thinking that I wasn't cared for, that I didn't have enough, that I had to take what I could. This card reminds me of the Facebook status, and I don't even know if this is a thing anymore. I'm dating myself. Whatever I can get. The 7 of Swords is a whatever I can get card. If there's something there, I'm an opportunist, I'm going to go after it, I'm going to take it. I don't even know if it's going to be good for me in the long term. Take a moment to pause. You don't have to make any huge choices right now. You don't have to take any big risks. Wait it out for the next couple weeks. Let things percolate. Let yourself think things through and tune into your heart space and feel things through. before you make a big move. If you're feeling the pressure to make a choice or to make a decision right now, whether extenuating circumstances or what have you that you're not prepared to make, give yourself permission to take a moment and to think about things and not to act until you're incredibly sure about what it is that you want to do. So now we are going to release. We are going to release, going to lead you through a process of deep release. Whatever anxiety you're feeling right now, let it dissipate. Imagine anything that's blocking you up. You may imagine, as black particulate matter. You can imagine as germ matter, whatever it is that resonates with you. I tend to imagine black particulate matter seeping out and dissipating into the air. Take a deep breath in. Actively release anxiety. Actively release uncertainty. Actively release doubt. Actively release chaos and confusion. Breathe in and release. What you're feeling is valid. What you're feeling is tuning you in to what you need to take a look at, to what you need to consider. Consider what it is you need to think about. Write it down. Make a mental note. Take a mental note and release the emotion. Release the tension that is existing to connect you with that truth or that thing you need to recognize. Breathe in and release. I release uncertainty. I release anxiety. You can say, I release anxiety out loud. I release confusion. I release distrust in self. I release distrust in self. Actively release. Push the breath from you by contracting your diaphragm and push it out of you. I release distrust in myself. You take a moment to bring your hands to prayer position if it resonates, to bring your energy back down and breathe naturally. You are protected. You are held. What you feel is true is true. The path you feel is the right path. What is it that you want to follow right now? What is it that's calling out to you? The stress, the anxiety, the self-doubt, the questioning, the toxic comparison. Let all of this drift away. Let it all drift away. What is left? What is left in you when the obstacles drift away? Try and visualize a desire. What is it you're imagining right now? What is it that you see before you as an option for you? How might you connect with that? How might you embrace that? Whatever it is you're visualizing or you're feeling, embrace that. You can even speak, I embrace this, if it resonates. You can place your hands over your heart and say, I embrace this powerfully and fully and wholly without fear. Let it in. Let the new direction, whatever that might be, in. Let the wisdom of what is to come in. Let yourself see it. Let yourself feel it. And let yourself be brave enough to follow. Imagine yourself walking towards whatever it is that you desire. Imagine yourself in it, in this space, and feel how it makes you feel. How does it make your body feel? How does it make your mind feel? It is so. It is so. It is so. So much love, beauties. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this was insightful. I hope it was helpful. I hope, if nothing else, you feel a deep sense of calm that I actually feel right now. And I hope you can take it into the rest of the day with you. You can take it with you into the rest of your day. So much love. And I will see you soon.